Alright, today I'm going to do a video on the back flushing of my oil cooler on my 2004 F250 6.0 liter. This is going to involve using an Amazon flush kit that I've got. It comes disassembled, you put it together. You got a cap here that goes for your oil cooler valley access area. And then you put your 45 on it with your male barbed end. Put your clamps on your hose, put your hose on your male barbed end. There's another male barbed end on this side. Then it goes into your Y connector with your air fitting and a male-to-male connector for your water hose. When you put these O-rings on here, I went ahead and I put a little Vaseline on them to keep them in there so they don't fall out. Your oil cooler cap is right there. Now if you see, I've already got the bolts out, and they are a bear. That back one back there is almost impossible. So what I had to do was I took a 1/4 inch ratcheting wrench and I put my torque socket in there like that, and I broke it loose with that. And then I found that a 4mm Allen wrench will fit in the head of that socket, so you can go ahead and work it out, that socket bolt. So you can get them worked out. But either way, that's the cap you take off, and then you put your flush kit where that cap goes. So I've already went and drained the radiator out of the bottom hose. So that's a 7mm hose clamp. Undo that hose clamp and then take a flathead screwdriver and just go at an angle on both sides of your hose to loosen that up. And you know, that way it gets it to break loose of all the crusty stuff, and then you can just wiggle it back and forth and pop it off of there. Pop the cap off your degas bottle over there, and that allows the pressure to relieve. And then you can take that cap loose here and we'll get it popped out. And that's what she looks like. So yeah, it's not very promising. So hopefully the oil cooler hasn't taken a dump on us, but we will find out here, because the coolant didn't look great coming out of it either. So we will go ahead and give this a try on the back flush. The reason why I'm doing this is because my temps, my deltas, are pretty high. So that means that the oil temperature is higher than the coolant temperature by a significant amount. I think they say anything higher than like 10 or 15 degrees is no good at all. And we were getting a little higher than that. So instead of breaking in there and doing that oil cooler, which would involve taking about everything right there you see off, we're going to try a back flush. And I'm going to get this kit on here, and then we will come back to the video here with a little flush and see what happens. And I'm catching my fluids down in there. I've already drained radiator fluid and disposed of it. Quick little update here. The old Vaseline that I had in my shed was not tacky enough. It was awful watery. So we switched gears here and we've changed to wheel bearing grease. So a little wheel bearing grease, because you know, I got it in there and that outer gasket fell off. I didn't notice it till I about had her tightened down, and I said, that is wonderful. So I had to pull the little bolts back out and get her back out, and then fish that gasket out. And I tell you what, there ain't a lot of room in there, so you really only want to do this once. So a good tacky wheel bearing grease to hold them O-rings in there. And just be patient, just nice and patient. All right, we're back here, boys. Well, I've got that adapter on there, and give yourself some grace when you're doing this, because that is an absolute bear of a nightmare. And I did figure out that if you drop them socket cap bolts into that little iodized cap, that they'll stay in there as you set it down in place, and then you can go ahead and work in bolts in nice and easy. I mean, you're gonna have to, like I said, it's a bear, so you know, say a little prayer, take your time, be easy with it, give yourself some grace, because it is a nightmare. Alright, so we've got our air supply figured out, and I've got some water hooked up to her. So now we're going to give it some pressure and let it start flushing out with some water pressure, and then we'll back it up with some air pressure behind it. And I'm going to hit it in short spurts here. I'm not going high pressure with it. We're only hitting it about 20. 25 psi. We ain't trying to blow nothing apart. The water itself's probably giving us about that. And then they also say that you want to kind of turn the motor over so the water pump will move locations. Now this wire right here is connected over here. It goes to your starter, so you can bump your starter without the truck trying to want to start itself. You know, the key's not on, you're just firing the starter over a little. And that's moving the location of the water pump, allowing the passage of water through there, and it cleans out that area a little better. No big deal. I kind of like that. I don't know how many other diesels do that, but 6.0 is famous for that. So we're just gonna basically let that flush out. You know, hopefully that takes care of our delta problems, and just go in reverse order, putting it back together. Like I said, take your time, be patient. This was a bear of a job. I didn't give up halfway through it, so if you're sitting here watching this video, I'm sure you can handle it yourself. So thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up, or a comment, or subscribe if you want to see some more how-to videos.